Yes, all dungeons means every single boss has to get their butt kicked, including the dreaded Aga 1. And we're already starting off with a heart container and a mushroom.
Early mushroom, that's going to mean early decision. How quickly are they going to turn in that mushroom?
Indeed. Or they may choose to hold off on it and save it for a glitch involving the Mad Batter.
Or even hoping for an early flute for a more convenient turn-in.
There are many possibilities and also many split paths. Hello there, Bush Crab, you are kind, and hello, Uncle, what are you doing with that flute?
Well, I think the correct answer was wait for the flute.
Okay, ooh. Red Boomerang at Lumberjack, yeah, we're probably not going for that.
Yeah, it means we don't have to rush Aghanim. We could just do them whenever we want, pretty much.
Now, I had missed what was in the Lost Woods corner. Oh, heart container. The Lost Woods hideaway itself, just some money. Now, go ahead.
Let's say this early on, I think you go ahead and take that heart container.
I know I certainly would. But then again, we have had runners go for, low heart runs, especially with the recent Spoiler Open tournament. So perhaps we may have some confident runners here going for it. And our featured for tonight, by the way, JC Anderson top left, Frostbite 3030 top right, Blaine bottom left, Alejun bottom right.
So we have Blaine doing a fake flipper just south of his house in order to take the portal and make a convenient mushroom trip. Not as convenient as the flute, but he doesn't have that yet. And for 5 rupees, not worth it really either.
Blind Tut, I thought I saw a power glove and a bug catching net. Though it looks like we also missed a hook shot.
Yeah, we saw a hook shot right there on Frostbite screen, and the back had the silver arrows.
Kakariko is loaded.
About the only thing we don't have right now is 100 rupees to pay off the bottle vendor.
Well, perhaps the well will give us that.
I'll take a fire rod.
Yes, we will definitely take a fire rod. And a tunic upgrade. Thank you, JC Anderson, for that wonderful playing of, one of Hyrule's national pastimes.
So it looked like... oh! That may be huge.
So was that at the back of the tavern! We have a magic mirror, we have early boots, it's like we have everything here.
Except the sword.
That's why I use the phrase, it's like. It's like, I'm trying to take notes of where everything is. There's your sword at Agina's cave.
Commentator's blessing?
Just... sure, let's go with that. Library, we don't need anything there today. Now, how about that race game? Not this time.
And Boyne's grabbing his flute over here from the uncle.
Okay, I think I've caught up on all of my notes. And looking at what we have available, it's a lot. We've already cleaned out all of Kakariko Village with the exception of the sick kid. We're just missing a bottle. What has happened to us, Dark Shadows?
I thought we cursed runners, not helped them.
I no longer know anymore. Blaine and Elysian are dealing with
There's another bottle.
Dealing with more different parts of Hyrule Castle, and sure, provide everything. Okay, mostly normal, or back to normal. Back of Escape had a key to the dark portion, so I'm just curious where that map is. Oh, there's the other glove. And lantern and powder at Mini Moldorm Cave. So that's close to full Dark World access right there.
Yeah, it would be awkward. It would just be awkward without a hammer, but it could still be done. But we still need that moon pearl.
Blaine does not have Titan's Mitts, for the record. So Blaine has not gone to Kakariko Village yet, and there's that map. That means Dark Cross will have something.
And Boyne does not have his mirror yet, so he's going to go ahead and take a death warp. Now, Anderson can take care of everything on Light World Death Mountain with the... Actually, yeah, he can take care of everything except for the boss of Tower of Hera because he does not have a sword.
Alright, JC Anderson is the first to go to Death Mountain. I missed what the old man gave. Again, I'm still trying to catch up on notes considering everything that's happened here. Like,
everyone is somewhere else. $20 on top of Spectral Rock. Nothing great there. And did not see what was inside.
I had missed it too. I was trying to pay attention to Frostbite and Elysian. I know one of them picked up the lantern from Mini Moldorm Cave. Ah, it was Frostbite because of the powder.
Alright, well we can probably assume that there's nothing important inside Spectral Rock because Anderson is just going right past.
And heading straight to Tower of Hera. While Elysian now has their sword,
now Anderson does not have a sword or a hammer. They haven't went over to the east side of Death Mountain yet, and Moon Pearl requires the boots.
by the way, Dark Cross has the Cane of Samaria today.
Oh, wow.
Chat, we are looking for the hammer right now.
So I feel this is a bit of a risk for JC. He's found one of the two items in Tower of Hera, has not checked East Death Mountain yet, where there are 6 items waiting, but has no way of doing damage to Trolldorn right now.
Oh, that is a good point. Also, the boots were located on the bottle vendor. Most of our runners did not have enough money. I want to say Elasian managed to grind enough in order to get the 100 rupees necessary.
Yeah, Frostbite got to the vendor with 91 rupees, where Elasian got to him with 101 and just barely paid him off.
And, Chad, do not hesitate to ask any questions regarding this seed. A lot has happened in it. And we'll do what we can to clarify any detail, regardless of how small or silly it may seem. And yeah, chat is confirming what I suspected. Elasian did go back into the well to get 10 extra rupees. None of the other runners have done that.
And Elasian is in Tower of Hera with the sword, so they will be able to kill Moldorm at the top. And more importantly, probably, they will get the hint that the Moon Pearl requires the boots, which they do have.
Ooh, I completely missed the hint tile, but what I'm not missing is Mini Moldorm Cave, Frostbite taking care of the 2 chest room, JC Anderson 5 chest room. So far, just some supplies. And is it just me, or did Paradox Cave only paid in ammo, hearts, and money?
I believe you're right there. I mean, let's be honest. Kakariko was stacked. We had to have the dud play somewhere.
I mean, we had a stacked Kakariko, which led to immediate Bunk Rocks and an Agina's Cave. I don't get what's
Hyrule Castle area was pretty stacked.
That too. And thank you, Blaine, for visiting Sick Kid. Just 50 rupees, but right now, we need at least 100 of them. Actually, we're gonna need at least 210 once we factor in going to Palace of Darkness. While Frostbite, Spiral Cave, Frostbite's walking in Spiral Cave. What's it got? Some type of stuff. Hopefully, it's a good enough. Look out! Frostbite's in Spiral Cave. Look out! Heart container on Spiral Cave. Okay, not one of my better renditions, but
It works.
And ooh, I saw the second hint barely. Westside Misery Mire has our final tunic upgrade, but I missed the second one.
It was. I think it said it was just a map, so don't have to worry about Fireside. And JC Anderson going back and grabbing his boots.
Alright, even if Moldorm does not have an item, we do need the pendant from him. After all, this is all dungeons. Every boss has to be defeated.
Including Aghanim. And all of our featured runners now have their silver arrows.
Wonderful fight by Elasian. Trolldorm goes down. And we get the blue boomerang in exchange, along with a blue pendant.
And the Ice Rock Cave, Boing getting 300 rupees out of that.
So, yeah, the main thing of value was Tower of Hera. Now, if Blaine were to... Oh, nice. Blaine has what looks like a possible stored water walk on top of the boots. So we're gonna see some more shenanigans here.
Not really paying out, though.
Well, I have nothing against a small shield to lead to a red shield. Now, the mirror shield, perhaps not as much. Also, Blaine does not have enough money for King Zora.
Now, we did see the bee in the bottle out of the bonk rocks, so I think we only have 2 possible locations left for... No, we only have 1 possible location left for that moon pearl, I think.
It's Desert Palace or King's Tomb.
But without the moon pearl, we... oh wait, we do have the mitts, so yes, it could also be King's Tomb.
So remember, folks, we do have access to Desert Palace because Flute plus Titan's Mitts plus Mirror equals Desert Palace access. And Blaine is hoping for King's Tomb. Chad is thinking it's definitely here. It's not! It's the 3rd bottle! We're going to Desert, folks.
3 bottles in under 17 minutes.
What is this seed? Just what is this seed?
At this point, it's kind of open.
Yeah, so, again, folks, let me try to explain why Desert Palace is logically accessible. Because I know it can be confusing. So, based off of what our runners have picked up, we have access to the Titan's Mitts, the Flute, and the Magic Mirror. We can flute to Location 6, lift up the rock, move to the northwest part of the Haunted Wasteland, mirror to the Desert Ledge, and have access to Desert Palace. Observe, Blaine! They will demonstrate for us. Just have to avoid the murderous pterodactyl.
And we have the green pendant in Thieves Town, and it looks like we have our other 5-6 crystal in Palace of Darkness.
It's a Hasrala's closet not paying off this time. And Blaine is now in Desert. And, there's your Moon Pearl, Desert Torch.
So we also got the hint that heart containers with the grumpy fish. So that's either the catfish or King Zora.
Ooh, Frostbite is also checking out Checkerboard Cave while here. Potentially worth it. That's the Canaburna.
You only lose a few seconds to pick it up, and that puts Spike Cave... Well, that's one of the invincibility items that put Spike Cave in logic once they get the hammer.
But where is that hammer?
That is the good question.
Because right now, I'm trying to recall... Oh, wait, we have access to... Yeah, we have access to Dark World through...
Kakariko Village.
Yeah. We just have to lift the rock.
And with the sword, Skull Woods is full clearable. Thieves Town can be cleared, with the exception of the big chest. They do not have access to the big chest.
And
Go ahead.
sorry, I was trying to pay attention to Blaine, but at the same time, I also realized I had missed what J.C. Anderson has picked up in Eastern. Well, at least we can eliminate bombs, so that's 1 out of 3 items down. So, Star Wars, I've only seen bombs. Again, I was focused more on the bottom runners, but chat is also assisting to make sure that we are keeping up as best as we can.
Now, right now, even though we have Dark World access, we do not have logical access to the east side of Dark World. We do not have logical access to the Palace of Darkness area because we have no hammer and we have no way into Aga Tower. Because even though we have the lamp, we don't have 2 swords and we don't have the cape, so we have no way past the barricade.
And without the bow, J.C. Anderson has to leave Eastern Palace behind. So, right now, the big question that I am curious about is which Dark World location is going to give us our next piece of progression. Frostbite suspects the Super Bunny Cave.
They do also have access to Hookshot Cave, so that's 6 items up here.
And with the Mire, they have access to the Death Mountain Island at the top, which I had missed what that was.
I believe that was Quake Medallion, but there's the hammer!
Hammer in Super Bunny, nice find.
And that Quake is required because, as we see, it's required for Mire.
While Bombos is needed for Turtle Rock.
And Boyne finally getting the Moon Pearl hint. Kind of late for him, though.
And, well, there's the other invulnerability item, the Magic Cape.
So, remember how we were talking about Aga Tower access earlier?
We have Aga Tower access. I don't know if that's a good thing or not at this stage.
Well, Frostbite already has the hammer, so he only needs it just because it's a dungeon that needs to be cleared.
But we also have to remember, since we got the hammer, well, we don't need to worry about Aga until the very end. So, small miracles, I guess.
So I believe we have an old saying about Spike Cave, and that being... Oh, wait, Frostbite still has to do Tower of Hera. A little early on that.
Yeah, Spike Cave, home to the 1001 spikes before 1001 spikes was ever made.
I was going to say there's never a good time to check Spike Cave, just a less bad time to check it.
Oh, I've seen some good items in Spike Cave. Though, admittedly, Some of those happened when you combine Link to the Past Rando with Super Metroid Rando. Gotta enjoy a good plasma beam in Spike Cave.
Hey, that's not a fair comparison.
Alright, Dark Shadows. Fair point.
So, for runners, we have them in two different dungeons. We have Alazun about to take on Landmolus, while JC's trudging through the front of the desert. We have Blaine getting his Moldorm killed, while we got Frostbite taking a coffee break over here in the basement to get his big key.
Yeah, our runners have to explore all over in order to finish this run. And, well, we have just about everything, really. All we're missing, let's see, we're missing the bow, we're missing the flippers, we're missing the ice rod, we're missing Bombos, and technically that's it.
We're also still only on one sword.
Right, we do need another sword. So we are 5 items away from, well, commentator's no mode, effectively. And, what Westside in chat brings up a fair question. Did Blaine not take out Landmolas? It's possible that they may not have. Consider that we're going to end up returning to this area later from Misery Mire, perhaps wanting to have the bow on hand for the Silver Arrow strategy? I don't know.
The same question would go for Frostbite.
So, leaving Desert Palace for later is not necessarily a bad thing. We're gonna be heading to the same area anyway. I can't fault any of our runners for doing that right now.
Yeah, if they found both items already, then yeah, it's probably just saving it for the double. Now, Alazun has an interesting play they can make. They don't have the hammer, so they won't be able to check the big chest of Thieves Town. But if they clear Thieves Town first, then they can clear Skull Woods, and right after that, Mire and pull the pet.
The pedestal is technically logically available right now. You're right. It is a little early to think about it. Well, maybe not. I mean, we did have 2 pendants in the light world, and the 3rd pendant is just, easy pickings. However, looks like Elysian wanted to go to Skullwood's backside first. Well, okay, in this case it was a good thing, because that was the big key. But no, Elysian wants to just, fully take care of Mothula first. While in the meantime, no Frostbite screen. Actually visiting Spike Cave.
This is probably the best time to check it, right after Tower of Hera. And required!
Who said Spike Cave is a bad time?
Oh, it's still a bad there's still no good time to check it. Doesn't mean it won't have anything, though.
Fair point. Oh, this seed is just throwing everyone for a loop today. So yeah, Frostbite with Bombos, which we need for Turtle Rock. So that's one of our missing items accounted for.
And the other scary thing is Frostbite has everything needed to clear Turtle Rock except for the Ice Rod.
Which of course means Ice Rod could very well be in Turtle Rock.
Oh, come on. You know the Seed's going to put Ice Rod in Mimic Cave just to counter that one.
Perhaps.
Oh, there's Flippers.
Oh my! What is this Seed? I mean, we have to get the hook shot, which admittedly was easy, to go to Hookshot Cave to get the cape, to now head over to Bumper Cave for Flippers. Well, we are certainly being given the runaround.
Half an hour in, and we're 3 items from no mode. The only items left to find are the bow, the ice rod, and one of the 3 swords.
Kind of surreal when you think about it.
Yeah, all dungeons you expect to go for a bit of a runaround for your items.
Well, speaking of running around, Frostbite is, well, about to get another bottle in King's Tomb.
I just noticed though, Frostbite is the only one of our featured runners right now without a sword still.
Well, who wants to go to Agina's cave?
I mean, you got a point.
Alright, JC Anderson first into the brewery. And takes the tip money. And Graveyard Ledge not paying out. And Elasian leaving Skull Woods probably has both items, so we are about to see Thieves Town. Or not.
No, Elasian has killed the moth.
Well, okay, I was half right. JC Anderson's going to Thieves Town. I was expecting Elasian to go there first. Alright, Thieves Town, 4 items, 5 if we count the green pendant. Frostbite, meanwhile, is hoping for some hype.
JC, first item is a shield. Oh hey, Ice Rod!
And a sword!
So, we are now 1 item from no mode.
All we need is the bow. And, that bow could very well be on that pedestal. But in the meantime...
That bow could be a lot of places, let's be honest.
I know. But in the meantime, Frostbite is thinking about Swamp Palace. While Elasian is in the C-shaped house, and, well, there we see a piece of heart.
I can't blame Frostbite for going into Swamp Palace. There are 6 items here, and they can full clear it.
Well,
And
good news.
cash in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about Mimic Cave today. Now, how about this hint in Thieves Town? Rockin' Desert. I remember when that hint messed me up a few times.
It's also old news for JC.
It's the nature of hints. There always has to be at least one bad hint in a seed.
Alazun in 3 digs getting bombs. Dig game is a bust. Bombos was in Spike Cave.
Alright, looks like Elasian is going to bring the dwarf / gnome home. Now we get to see what they make on their anvil. Some money. Also, I think J.C. Anderson's lucky. If I counted my items correctly, there's only a map and compass available in Big Chest and on Blind. So we didn't need the hammer at all.
That's really fortunate for JC.
And Blind with, the usual puns. While Elasian, in the meantime, doesn't have the powder yet, but does have a mushroom to pull off some sequence breaks, so na 50!
Na 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 na. Cashman.
That also works. And oh, Elasian, you almost scared me by leaving that chest there. Unfortunately, turning it in was not necessarily worth it.
Now we got left side swamp here, got a piece of heart.
How about right? That's a lot of money.
So wouldn't it be funny if our bow was sitting on Grumpy Fish, our big rip-off Grumpy Fish the whole time?
That is a possibility. We only saw a hint that a heart container was held by a grumpy fish, but there are 2 grumpy fish within this game. One is Catfish, one is King Zora. And we don't know which one is which yet. Stumpy is taunting us with some arrows. We're looking for a bow here.
We got counterfeiters.
And, ooh! We have a 3rd sword sighting in the Swamp Palace underwater portion.
It's good news for Frostbite. They have their Master Sword at least. So So Frostbite is just a bow from Go mode.
Yeah, and that is correct, chat. We have not visited King Zora yet. Boyne did visit the area, but only to check the item on the Zora ledge, which I believe was either a piece of heart or a heart container. And the main reason why King Zora was not visited? No money. Or rather, not enough money. 500 rupees for an item is kinda pricey.
Yeah, and this seed was very stingy with money early on. Some of our runners having to go back to the bottle vendor just to get their boots.
Alright. Elasian now has the lamp, while Frostbite, I want to say, has cleared out everything in Swamp Palace. Got a sword, not much else. But regarding locations we can access right now, it's quite a lot. Misery Mire is full clearable. Ice Palace is full clearable.
Palace of Darkness, while not full clearable, we have access to a lot of that dungeon.
That we do.
Turtle Rock, of all places, is full clearable.
Which means it's down to, well, Frostbite is hoping for luck with the dungeons, and it's not a bad idea, especially Ice Palace. 3 hint tiles here. First one, well, Frostbite already knew about, but you know, that hint may actually prove useful for JC Anderson and Elasian.
You know, once everyone catches up on items and everyone like ends up with about the same inventory, everything except Eastern and Palace of Darkness is full clearable for Frostbite right now.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about Pyramid Fairy for Go mode, so that's 2 items we can take off the table.
It is kind of funny that both the dungeons required for Pyramid Fairy are the bow dungeons.
Oh. Okay, Book of Mudora is dead. Ether Tablet's dead. Bombos Tablet is dead.
That is actually good information.
And speaking of info, King Zora provides a refund. Catfish has the heart.
Actually, it's a really good thing that Zora didn't have the heart container, because that does mark off 2 locations for the price of 1. Just a hefty price.
Dwayne, meanwhile, I don't recall if we saw MC Hammer's vault yet. So let's, pop it open. Sheesh, apparently, music industry is harder these days than I realized.
That's a rough hint for Frostbite there.
I had missed it. I was focused on Dwayne's side. What was that 3rd hint?
A unique item is held by someone friendly.
That could very well refer to the bottle vendor. The game is always guaranteed to offer one Boots hint. And the bottle vendor, while a little bit stingy, is technically friendly. Question from chat: the flute was held by our uncle today. Alejun now with the cape and thus able to get the flippers. And Frostbite did visit Uncle already. We're just getting a little bit caught up. Basically, a lot of action had taken place in the first 15 minutes. It was kind of hard for Dark Shadows and I to get everything.
And we're not even the ones hitting the buttons.
I see what Frostbite did with that bomb jump. Trying to save a little bit of time and thus only visit the big chest once.
Iced tea room. I've seen a lot of good things come out of this room. But dinner is not one of them.
Oh, Alejun is about to get Bombos. While Bwayne is about to get a sword upgrade along with an ice rod. Now, Ice Palace, I believe, has one more item in it. Cold Stare has it.
So I know it's a place where we usually don't like finding something, but I'm getting the vibe that Trinex. I wouldn't be surprised if Trinex had something at this point.
I'm just gonna say Trinex has the single arrow. I haven't seen that on any of our Ore Runners yet.
Frostbite getting some nice double hits off those fire rod shots. Cold Stare had an item, but not the item we wanted. Just another shield. I believe we have all three shields accounted for.
That we do. However, with the Cold Stare shield being a forced grab, I know there are some runners that don't like picking up a mirror shield if they already have the first two. And oh, we were talking about Turtle Rock earlier? Alejun is at least opening up the place.
I feel... Oh, arrows above the pose, so there's our Turtle Rock hint out of the way.
But we have a dive. We are now inside the turtle, trying to avoid the berries. I mean, I can't blame Alejun for that. If you get damaged on the platform, but fall off, you do lose extra health as well as just a little bit of pride, I guess. Also, JC Anderson now has Kano Samaria.
I feel like the last dungeon that these runners would be Misery Mire, at least until they get Tempered Sword. just because Master Sword Vitreous without the bow, let's be honest, who really wants to do that?
No one does, really. Which is why it's entirely possible that Vitreous has our necessary bow.
Yeah, but once you have the Tempered Sword, it's not as bad, since we do have the cape as well.
So we had an interesting question from chat regarding why are runners not playing as Link? So one of the benefits of the randomizer is you can play as a number of characters, which also reminds me, this is going to affect some daily races in basically starting tomorrow. Version 30.5 has just come out during this race, which means more sprites are going to be available for our next showcases here on Speed Gaming.
Ooh, I'll have to check out the extra sprites.
But to actually answer the question here, JC Anderson is, honestly, I want to say that's Mario with Cappy, as in Mario Odyssey. Frostbite is playing as Plague Knight. Blaine is playing as... I don't recognize that version of Ryu. Maybe, Breath of Fire? And Alejun is Terra.
Yeah, it's Ryu, the blue male, just making him blue.
Da boo dee da boo die.
Now, Boyne's using a little trick with holding the sword out and then hitting the dash right as he would hit the puffball to keep the sword held out and just rapidly tear through all those puffs.
Alright, I don't remember if Alejun saw the Mimic Cave hint. But we know there's only cash in there. Turtle Rock is going to have most of the items in the back today.
And the big key was actually in the central island. And Boyne's got that tempered sword, so he's going to take his dive into Misery Mire now.
We know of one item in Misery Mire, and that is, for all of our runners, the red mail on west side, or fire side, Misery Mire. There's one more item unaccounted for.
And Boyne has not cleared Desert yet, so this will be a back-to-back clear for them.
And this also means we may have a pedestal check. Maybe. Alright, 3 items remain in Turtle Rock.
Does Alazun have enough magic, though? Just barely.
Oh, no, you don't want to... Wait, okay, right, platform's still there, I forgot about that. Sorry, I don't like dealing with this room when very low on magic. I panic a little.
Oh, try doing it in the dark, it's really fun then.
No, thank you. I may be getting a little bit better with dark rooms, but I am not touching Turtle Rock Dark or Misery Mire Dark. Also, Trinex does have an item.
At least all of our runners found the lamp early because they don't have to worry. I mean, they won't have to worry about Aga Tower Dark.
That is true. Elasian, I would advise taking the safety door at the bottom. There you go.
Also, Boyne found the other item. We've got but a sword.
So Misery Mire was the munitions dungeon. Got it. Alright, piece of heart. Shovel. Ooh. And Trinex has the last one.
Would you like to do a fetch quest?
Or maybe do a T-Rock dive.
Wait, we already did that.
Or maybe do a shovel dive. Or wait, that. No, you do a shovel dig.
Well,
Kingdom
Anderson
Hearts
is
3, why do you ruin us?
Frostbite has also got their shovel. Anderson is about to get their bombos, and we've got dueling boss fights. Eight slashes, and Vitreous is down.
But we know Vitreous was not going to have our bode today. Elasian? Yeah, has to be careful.
Be careful.
I don't know which one it is. I always mix up pronunciations. But at least that red potion from earlier did come through.
They gotta be careful with their shots. If they don't have a green potion, they're almost out of attempts on this redhead.
No! I mean, Elasian did activate the safety door, so they'll be fine.
There is a full magic decanter right before the bridge, so they will have magic going into the fight.
Meanwhile, Frostbite is the first to take out all 3 necks of Trinex. End result? Bombs. So, just to put this in perspective, folks, we are down to 4 possible bow locations: Pedestal, Dig Spot, Green Pendant Turn-In with Sahasrara, Pyramid Ledge, which I haven't seen any of our runners go for, or Palace of Darkness.
Wait, that's 5 locations.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition, I don't know. So yeah, this is... I mean, I'll take a fast, all dungeon seed. I'm sure our runners appreciate it. And I'm sure they would appreciate you folks at home following our runners, as they are giving us a very entertaining race here. Let's not forget about our trackers Wall Kicks and Drosy1, and my commentary partner Dark Shadows 59! Elasian, no! Not again!
I think they only had 1 full bottle.
Ooh.
Oh, and don't forget to give my co-commentator Wolfman2000 a follow as well.
Sure, if you like the occasional bad singing. and West Side. Oh, that's where the sword was in Misery Mire. I had missed the specific location.
So, did Alazin just capture a fairy?
Possibly.
I know they had the net out.
I think we can safely assume that a fairy was caught. After all, there are a number of anti-fairies in that area.
Now, Boyne's going to go ahead and do Aga Tower. I have to imagine this is a play on the Pyramid Ledge as well.
Well, I haven't seen what's on the Pyramid Ledge, but also we have a hint tile in here.
That's true as well.
And will this tell us about the bow?
Troll
Thanks,
hint.
Sign. Thanks, Sign. You're the hero of no one. And Sleepy Night. No, no. It's a hint tile. How is that? Anyway, let's move on to more of a fun game. Dwayne is about to take out Aga 1. Assuming a perfect pattern, how many blue balls is Aga going to fire? Put in a number between 0 and 15. Inclusive range, integers only, please. Winner gets a shout out.
I forget, is E considered an integer?
No.
So Alazun did manage to take down Trinex, ended with 1 heart left.
One heart is all you need. And there's 1 blue ball to start. Now, Elasian, I need to double... Sorry, I was trying to keep up with Elasian's routing. I had missed if there was an extra blue ball on Wayne's side. Oh! Uh-oh! Perfect pattern has been broken, folks! So, this is going to be a little bit harder to count now.
So Lasian's going to go ahead and get those flippers.
Alright, so in this case, the missed attack did not matter. That looked like either... I want to say that was 4 blue balls, but I may have miscounted. May have been 3. Chat, can you confirm? I wish to give a shout out appropriately. Also, Pyramid Ledge had nothing.
Here's going to be our first green pendant turn in, possibly.
It's not Sahasrara. Sahasrara basically has our entry fee to Palace of Darkness. And I did double check the numbers. Regardless of whether it was 4 or 5, and I think it was 4, Wall Kicks was the first to get the closest. So Wall Kicks, our tracker, here's your shout out. Shout out!
So remaining, we still have Palace of Darkness, we have the Pedestal,
And Dig Spot.
And Dig Spot.
That's it. And yes, chat, we are looking for the bow.
Isn't that always the case on a fast start?
Normally, if I get fast starts, it's usually the ice rod or hammer I'm looking for in the end.
I mean, let's be honest, the hammer wasn't exactly in a great spot either.
That is true. We had to deal with Blind's Hut and Hyrule Castle Escape to get the Titan's Mitts in order to access Super Bunny Cave. Now, Frostbite may consider a pedestal potential here. They have not completed Thieves Town or Skullwoods yet. And they are thinking first, just deal with Skullwoods.
It's kind of funny to think that an hour and 6 minutes in, and the only real discrepancy in all four of our runners' item pools is how many swords do they have. Well, and two of them have the shovel.
It is a bit fantastic in a few ways. It's... Now, Evil Mercenary, it is entirely possible that this is still a ped seed. The bow could be on the pedestal. And if our runners wanted to check what was on the pedestal without pulling it, well, they can't. Book of Mudora is inside the pyramid. And the pyramid crystals are bow locked.
Isn't it just funny when that happens?
Yeah, blind pull required today.
Unless it's over in Palace of Darkness, which would be kind of rude.
All of the locations remaining are rude here. Pedestal because pedestal, Dig Spot because we had to go to Turtle Rock Laser Bridge, and Palace of Darkness because it's effectively mirrored vanilla.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And for reference, chat, the pedestal play is not out of the equation yet. The bow could be there. Again, we are down to 6 or 7 item locations away, depending on whether Helmasar King has an item. But it's 3 geographical locations on the map that remain.
Yeah, the logic does allow for blind pulling the ped, so even though we can't read the ped by logic, we can still pull the ped by logic.
That is correct. Look at Elasian going to Dig Spot.
Blue Rupee!
Alright.
Going to Kakariko. They already have Skullwoods Thieves Town down, so this is probably the ped pull.
This is, so, chat, get your pedestal hype in chat. No matter which location the bow is in, it's going to be bad. Well, actually, if it is the pedestal, this was probably the kindest seed to have a bow pedestal. If it's in Palace of Darkness, it would be extremely rude over there today.
Yeah, they did have early access to all 3 of the pendants, so this bow could have happened quite a while ago if it's here.
It is not here! We're going to pod!
Wow, okay, okay. I see your game scene.
That is perhaps the rudest, or second rudest location, depending on which chest inside of pod has it.
So why don't we have the big key locked on the bow lock side while we're at it?
That's evil! I like it. I mean, I've called a seed once where, you know, you had to enter Turtle Rock to find the fire rod to get the big key, no, excuse me, the final key in the double torch room. Or, no, that's the quad torch room, the double chest beyond, so we could have a back and forth dungeon in pod here.
And Blaine had a really nice zero cycle on Trionex, going behind him and hitting him with the rods and that butter sword. Yeah, speaking of mean Turtle Rock trolls, I saw where the fire rod was on Laser Bridge, and then the ice rod was locked behind the fire rod in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we sometimes, in the commentator industry, call that a Turtle Rock climb. Because you have to go all the way down, then all the way up, then all the way down.
Alright, so the bow cannot be on the bow locked side of pod. That the logic will prevent that.
So then the question is, will the logic prevent the big key from being on the right side? Admittedly, I don't know.
I think it can happen.
Then if it can, we effectively have a pod climb as well.
Well, we have to get there first.
Honestly, getting there is not going to be the problem. It's just a matter of when.
So right now we've got JC Anderson over in Ice Palace with 5 dungeons completed. We have Frostbite over in Thieves Town with 7 dungeons completed. We've got Blaine in Ice Palace also with 7 dungeons completed. And we have Alazun or Alazun, we're still trying to figure out the pronunciation, with 5 dungeons done over in Misery Mire. So we are an hour and 13 minutes in, and there's only a 2 dungeon gap between our 4 runners.
Kind of amazing to see, all things considered.
And everyone's looking for that bow. All 4 of them are looking for the same thing. Oh, Boyne does have 8 dungeons done because of Aga 1. So Boyne does have a 1 dungeon advantage.
That is true. All dungeons does require us to take out every boss, including Aga 1. However, and, well, technically it's not going to matter too much, because both the Castle Tower and Aga Tower take you to the pyramid. So whether you call it a, you know, a possible play on the hit for the hint tile, or the pyramid ledge. You know, it's not a bad idea, especially when we are trying to find, you know, just one item away from achieving the archer class. Frostbite now trying to deal with the one-off locations. JC Anderson about to deal with Cold Stare. Blaine catching up in that regard, but... Elasian, please be careful. You are running low on magic and life. There we go. Vitreous is down. And Frostbite is about to, not be happy.
Kinda appropriate that the pedestal has a broken heart today.
Appropriate, but also rude. So this is really going to come down to which runner goes to Palace of Darkness first.
Looks like Frostbite missed a location over here in Village of Outcasts. And Pod is not a dungeon you usually like to double dip. So it's probably going to be a last location for most of our runners.
Well, the good news is it won't be a double dip at that point. It's just... yeah, we know it's in Palace of Darkness, but none of our featured four have entered Palace of Darkness yet. Frostbite is taking care of the remaining overworld checks, not a bad idea. JC Anderson now has the golden sword. So, you know, our runners are fully equipped to take everyone out. They just need the bow. And for the record, the bow cannot be on a tablet because in order to get an item off the tablets, you need the Book of Mudora. The Book of Mudora is in the Pyramid of Power. Pyramid of Power is locked behind the Pyramid Crystals of Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness. And you can't beat those dungeons to get their crystals without the bow.
Still find it funny that both the Pyramid Crystals are bow locked.
However, note Blaine's location. Just did a save quit and is perfectly set up to actually visit Palace of Darkness. Will they be the first? Maybe not.
I think they still don't know which grumpy fish has the heart container.
Well, certainly better to check the free one.
Well, and there's also the mirror to check Zora. Heart containers are fairly common, so it could have been a possibility that both of the fishes had the heart container.
But we know it's not. King Zora provided 300 rupees out of our 500.
I'm also not sure if Blaine got that hint.
So here's the thing. All the hints said was that a heart container was held by a grumpy fish. As you said, both fish could have had heart containers. Since Wayne only saw one with a heart container, they have to verify King Zora. And Blaine is choosing not to pick up the refund, instead just immediately saving and quitting. If you don't want to pick up King Zora's item, you have to talk to King Zora from right about that position, left to center.
Yeah, Boyne does not have a real need for money right now. We're at endgame.
And that means Blaine is going to be the third person to be disappointed out that pedestal. Sorry about this. Well, Blaine's taking it well.
I'm trying to remember where Frostbite hasn't checked yet, because Frostbite does not have that fourth sword.
So the swords were located at Agina's Cave, Hype Cave, Swamp Palace, Drained Portion, and Misery Mire First Chest. Most likely never did Agina's Cave. And technically in this case, even though Frostbite was much closer to Agina's Cave, going to take care of Catfish, then Palace of Darkness, Blaine, however, is about to enter Pod right now. Alright, this is not going to be an official game, folks, but I'm just curious, chat. Where do you think the bow's going to be located? Get your guesses in within the next 5 seconds, please. No
Dark
numbers.
Maze! Dark Maze! Just by the bomb wall.
Well, it's not the first chest.
Yeah, I doubt Blaine does the bottle glitch and go to bow side because, well, you know the bow's got to be here, and the bow can't be locked behind the bow side.
Not on the arena ledge. Alright, spending a key right now. Will this be a 1-to-1 key? Yes, it is. That's 3 keys found out of 6.
Bees!
Well, there's our 4th bottle. It's kind of funny how we found 3 of the 4 bottles very close to each other, and the 4th one is just all the way over here. Alright, so backside. We have access to... Oh gosh. Okay, so Big Chest is not part of it. Hey, there's Ether. And that's a small key.
I'm pretty sure the Harmless Hellway would have to be a small key right now.
Not guaranteed. Yeah, it has to be in order for the logic to work. That means the final small key is on Bow's side. bow's going to be in one of two spots, top left or bottom right. However, what about the big key?
There's the bow. 1 hour, 25 minutes. We're finally in go. But the big key is over on that bow side.
Nicely done, you called that. So that means we're gonna get both a small and a big key from this part right here. Small key there. And big key on the balcony.
Frostbite is also heading into Palace of Darkness now. So I get the feeling a lot of the interviews are going to end up with last locationing the bow.
I would not be surprised. And to think, it's like, this was what... It's like, how often do we get to call seeds like this, where everything is given to you up front with the exception of one teeny tiny little item?
To be fair, being all dungeons, this is still a really quick seed.
That is true. I want to say for a number of people, open mode all dungeons can easily go up to 2 hours, sometimes 2:15. But Blaine is almost set up to possibly hit 140, 145.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about the 215 mark. And Frostbite is only about half of Pod and an Aga Tower behind Boyne.
And Trinex's final gift, the money stolen from Kiki. What is it with our money stealers that leads to more money in exchange?
I mean, they had to lock all the money somehow, right?
Fair point.
Remember, at the start of the seed, we had to farm up cash just for the boots. From Bottle Vendor.
Yeah, it's 100 rupees that were hard to come by for the boots, along with easy flute access and glove access. Worst case, you had to deal with front of Hyrule Castle escape, to then make your way to Desert Palace to get the Moon Pearl. And don't forget all the other little goodies that were found along the way. Really, the only thing unaccounted for right now by any of our featured runners is half magic. And it's entirely possible that half magic could be on a tablet, which means it's not showing up at all.
Well, it could also be in Ganon's Tower, in which case we also still might not find it.
That is true, we're not quite ready for that yet, but hold on folks, we'll get there soon. Though, Wags NYC does bring up a good point. It's depending on the items we get and when we do, it may be faster to deal with all dungeons. Because sometimes you have to worry about pendant dungeons in a normal open mode race, while here it's just you can finish a dungeon and just knock it out. Alright.
Hold on, I blinked. Was there a boss fight over on Boyne's side?
There kind of. I think they chose to hide away so that they can practice for their appearance in Cadence of Hyrule. Anyway, poking fun and mentioning other games aside, we are about to enter Ganon's Tower. The big key is located in one of 22 item locations. Please put in a number between 1 and 22 inclusive, integers only, please. The winner will get a prize of dubious value.
What are you thinking?
I am not going to influence this at all today. I'm just gonna let chat handle this.
Fair enough.
Besides, if I were to put in a number and I ended up being right, I don't consider it fair to give myself a prize.
Then again, look at how much of the seed we guessed at the opening.
Alright, fair point. Alright, unofficial betting is going to end once I see a right or left decision.
I'm thinking second chest a hope room.
Decision made, we're going left. Number 1, 20 rupees, Bob lives. Now, is Blaine going to invoke Dark Magician strategies here? We'll see. Number 2, bombs. Number 3, small key. Number 4, compass. Number 5, 20 rupees. And, yeah, we have Dark Magician strats.
I noticed he pulled the mirror out a bit later. He might have been waiting to see if he got a key.
6 is a key, 7 is just a piece of heart. We're going in. Hi, tile room. Bye, tile room. Here's hoping we don't have to come back to you.
Now you know because you said that it's going to be there.
The guessing games is locked on guesses. It doesn't matter at this point.
I know, but we haven't had a good calm curse all seed.
I think the bow was a good enough calm curse. Number 8, 10 arrows. Number 9, there's a green rupee. Number 10, big key at number 10. Now, who guessed 10? No one. So... okay. Should we invoke Price is Right rules or not?
I don't think we usually invoke Price is Right for this.
Then in that case, Sia Rennie, you are our winner today, and thus you have won a lifetime supply of randomizer seeds. All you have to do is go to ALTTPR.com and generate all the seeds of your fancy. Now on version 30.5, where you can have even more sprites to play with. Enjoy your entrance rando seeds, enjoy your key sanity, enjoy your retro, or enjoy your good old-fashioned open and standard mode. Just head to ALTTPR.com and enjoy Link to the Past rando today. Offer stays valid until the next major version, not available in Nebraska.
I think you forgot the Randomizer seeds.
I am limited to how much I can cover on a take here. Besides, retro needs more love.
It does.
Anyway, Blaine has gone through the gauntlet without a problem. JC is just trying to think about where to go.
Yeah, no one likes to go into Palace of Darkness looking for something they need to clear it.
Well, looks like JC is heading there.
Frostbite is going left first.
But will it be a full left? Blaine pulled off Dark Magician strategies without a problem. $50 rupees in the consolation chest. And Frostbite is going Dark Magician.
So is Blaine going to be a kind Hylian, or will he steal Moldorm's last possession?
Blaine, you thief! Also, thank you for using one of my shticks there.
Hey, it works. Also, at least it was a health refill.
That is true. It's still painful. Alright, let's see how well Blaine is at geometry or trigonometry. Ooh, triple!
Looks like a 1-3 so far. Think that was too close to be a double. Never mind.
It should have been a double, but apparently Ganon wants to cheat or something. Either way, we are now done with Ganon's Tower, and so it's time to deal with the Big Pig. But before we can get started with the fight proper, what are Ganon's words of wisdom tonight? So you thought you might like to go to the show to feel the warm thrill of confusion that Space Cadet glow. I know it's a singer, Pink Floyd, I think?
I'm not sure. Nice use of the dash strats here.
And yeah, with Golden Sword in hand, this is going to be a quick one here.
Yeah, already on phase 3. And with as much of a loop as this seed threw everyone on, Frostbite is still relatively close. They're making their gauntlet climb up Aga Tower. up Ganon's tower, they still have Aga Tower to go after.
That is true. Blaine is the only one of our runners to have done Aga Tower first, and look at that, a triple to take Ganon out. All Blaine has to do is cross the bridge of destiny.
And Boing crossing the bridge, finishing in first place with a time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 29 seconds.
Get your GGs out in chat, folks.
Right after him, we had our second place finisher of R.D. Walsh with 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Thank you for the accidental time travel there. But yeah, that was, close to a minute difference here. Let's see if we can get Blaine in for an interview, shall we? Blaine, GG, and congrats on your first place finish.
Hey, thanks. GG's all.
So, this seed told a number of tales, it felt like.
Yeah, the tale of, think of how fast this seed could be if we wanted to give you the bow.
I mean, this seed was already plenty fast as it was, I felt.
Oh yeah, I mean, the first 30 minutes, 40 minutes of this seed were very kind, and I lucked into doing it in exactly the right order. And I think I was in bow mode around 52 minutes, and just, you're not going to get to pod when you've got all of the world in an all dungeon seed and you're missing the bow. Pod's probably going to be pretty far down on the list, and it was pretty far down on the list, so, no real regrets, just what could have been,
It was probably far down everyone's list.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel so bad from a race perspective. I was very happy it was there and, not Left Side Swamp Palace. So it could have been worse, but, when you see a seed, it's very easy to fall into the trap of, oh, this seed could be so fast, we got to start, skipping a bunch of stuff and going to the good spots where we want the bow to be, and that can lead to a lot of trouble. So even though I did a lot of clearing, I at least stayed kind of disciplined and didn't really rush too much, except for the left side swamp skip. It would have been nice to put up like a 128 or something in an all dungeon seed. There was certainly potential there for a while, but it's never a fast seed until you find that last item. So
our apologies that you tried to aim for the goal, but were a little off target.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, to put things in perspective, like all four, like you and our other 3 featured runners, at one point were in bow mode all at the same time. You didn't enter bow mode at the same time, but y'all were looking for the bow at the same time at one point.
I can imagine. It was not somewhere. It's not like I lucked into some amazing route that got me everything except the bow. You were pretty much going to find everything except the bow, which meant you were never going to go over to the bow dungeons when you had the entire world to go finish, which is basically what it was. I think with 3 dungeons done, I think I had just bow. Maybe I was still missing a medallion or something like that, or flippers. Maybe it was like right after I got the flippers, I guess, is when I was pretty close to it. But yeah, I mean, you just have a lot of dungeons. You've got a lot of the world left. Why would you go into the one dungeon you can't complete? So there's everybody probably ends up getting the same go mode item, I would imagine. Well, most people probably do. So, you know, from a race perspective, I guess that's fair. It's not a huge advantage for one route versus another route. Everyone's going to have to converge onto pod at some point when they're done with everything else.
Well, I want to talk about a minor divergence. You were the only one amongst our featured 4 to deal with Aga Tower early. What was your rationale?
I wanted to check the pyramid, and that was a pretty convenient way to check the pyramid. I was going to have to do Aga Tower at some point anyway, and if I went to pyramid 25 minutes later and found the bow there, I was going to be really, really mad at myself for not just doing Aga Tower. So I knew I had to do Aga Tower at some point. Why not use that as the way to check the pyramid item? That was my thought. And I knew I wasn't going to be doing Pyramid Fairy at any point since, you know, the 2 5-6 crystals were Pod and Eastern. So just wanted to use that as a quick way to check the pyramid and make sure that wasn't where the bow was.
I'm guessing you were happy to learn that the book was also in that pyramid.
Yeah, it was nice getting the hint. You knew you were never going to run into the book and have to... That was basically the only places that would have been isolated. You know, with the items that it gave me, I was able to do pretty much everything. Did a lot of stuff, but did it all efficiently. If the book had popped up, well, now there's 2 spots way out of the way. When do you go and prioritize that? So getting the hint that, hey, you're not even going to find this in this seed, feels pretty good.
Was that our first check at the stun prize from Alazun?
I honestly did not pay attention to stun prizes at all this seed.
I don't think I did either.
It was a fairy.
Wow. I mean, I saw the bush crab. That had bombs.
Yeah, the crabs having bombs for their prize. That was pretty convenient early on.
Yeah, probably the best bush crab prize you're gonna get. Just load up on that. Let you do Kakariko. Let you do South Shore. Let you go do Escape if you want to do Escape, which was a really good play early on in this one, doing Escape and getting the flute from the uncle. So that was beautiful.
Yeah, flute on uncle, boots on bottle vendor. You had movement options for days for this scene.
The only thing you may not have had was money at the start.
Yeah, I was a little worried when Zora was one of my last checks, right before I went to Pod. I was trying to think back, okay, how did I route the very early game, and was there an opportunity to do Zora if I had routed differently? Because I think I had like 400. I think I was close to Zora when I was doing the fake flipper water walk up there, but I couldn't remember because it was so long ago. So I got a little worried. All right, what if somebody routed the early game differently and was able to do Zora, and that's where the bow is? That's going to be bad, but thankfully, nothing on him.
You do recall correctly, you did see the Zora ledge item. I want to say it was a heart container, and then you immediately retreated.
Yeah, and so that's something that's not gonna kill you unless that happens to be where you end up, you know, an hour and a half later to find your go mode item, which does happen from time to time. But sometimes it's not so bad. You know, if you know nobody could have checked Zora early, it's a better feeling. I was trying to think, because I knew I was close, so I was like, all right, if this is the bow, could somebody have got this really, really early or what? So thankfully, it wasn't the bow, and I don't think there was really a way to get any more money than I got anyway.
Well, with that, Frostbite has just slain Ganon and just has to cross the Bridge of Destiny. Destiny achieved. Frostbite finishes 2nd place on our restream, 6th place overall with a time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, 16 seconds. We also had in between Shire in 3rd, 1:43.08, Salty Fry 1:43.34, and Big Dunka 1:47.32. Yeah, Boyne, do you have any final thoughts on this? Because I think we've covered most of the questions here.
Just one quick funny story. We were chatting in pre-race before the race started about the Speed Gaming Daily this afternoon, which the key there was fake powdering. And I played in that daily. I did not fake powder, and others did, and that was the key to the entire seed at the end. We were chatting about that a little bit, having some fun with that in chat pregame, and of course, the first item that I get from the sanctuary when I start this seed is the mushroom, taunting me. So I actually save scummed the mushroom in this one. I don't know if you guys saw, just in case I had to do fake powder in this seed too. I think powder was like in Kakariko anyway, so it didn't matter. But I felt a little mocked by the way that this seed started.
Powder was in Mini Moldorm Cave, if I counted correctly, but considering
Somewhere
that
early, yep.
considering how the early game was, I don't know. Though someone who can hopefully explain this early game better than I ever could, Frostbite GG.
Thank you, Wolflink. GG, Blaine. Yeah.
Why do I have to be named after many wolves?
Oh yeah, sorry, buddy. I actually was looking right at your name. I just can't read too. I'm tired too. After, I think I was looking for the bow for like I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. It felt like so. It was a bit kind of like boring at the end.
You and everyone else.
Yeah, it's just a cruel spot. I mean, like honestly, if I had have walked from Hype Cave to Pod, I would have been in Go mode in 35 minutes. Like that's how free this seed was. But that Pod bow location is just so cruel that what are you gonna do, right? I mean, it is what. I kind of regret not going there before I did all the overworlds because basically I said I got like 8 dungeons I can full clear. I'm just gonna do them, and then I had the choice to either go to Pod Eastern after that or do all the overworld checks that I'd skipped, and I decided to do all the overworld checks, except for our friend in the desert, who, if he had the bow, that was just going to be funny. And it would have been typical given how long I left the boots on the bottle vendor at the beginning of the seed as well. So
Agina had the final sword for you.
Oh, that's just funny.
So I do believe you were the first of our featured runners to be hunting for that bow.
I big-brained a lot of the game after I found the boots, I feel like. I got the hammer really fast, and then it seemed pretty, like I just cleared off Death Mountain and I found Bombos, and I was like, wow, that might, that might trip some people up until Ice Palace happened, and then I felt really good. Like, I was like, man, if I run into this bow in Swamp Palace, I could finish the seed in 120, and then obviously that didn't even remotely end up happening. So, and it probably would have been more like 130, but still, in my brain, it would have been an insanely fast seed because that would have been going 35. Or if it had been ice, or maybe Mire, or desert, or Turtle Rock, or Skullwoods.
Yeah, I mean, Desert did have a key item in the Moon Pearl. Misery Mire, you only had one item to go, and that was yet another sword upgrade. Skullwoods, I don't think it actually had anything of value.
Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. I specifically avoided Skullwoods and Thieves Town to just sort of make a play that I figured other people would like. Going to Skullwoods and Thieves Town is just kind of the first thing a lot of people do in the Dark World, so I figured if I avoided that, it could kill me if what I was looking for was there, but if I could find it in TR or Ice or some horrible dungeon that I went in, maybe a little earlier than other people, it would have worked out, but of course, the only thing going into Ice Palace is said, great, that nice play you made dive in Spike Cave, no one's gonna get burned by it.
Yeah, everyone had to go to Spike Cave in order to get Bombos today.
Yeah, this is my least favorite part about hints. I mean, I have about 16 different least favorite parts about hints, but the play you make that feels really good that is just instantly kneecapped by a hint you find 5 minutes later that you can't possibly.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you hit Ice Palace. Like, I kind of feel bad a little bit.
Yeah, I went specifically to Ice Palace hoping to maybe get a lead on the bow too. And I mean, of course, you always get those fun hints like, "Oh, unique item is on a person," and I'm like, "Well, of course, I'm never gonna forget that I got the boots on the bottle vendor in this speed." But normally, that's the thing where I'm thinking, "All right, did the guy in Hype Cave have something, or was that in like I mean?" But I figured it was the boots. But yeah, it was just I don't know, it was just a bad bow spot, and basically, this seed came down to like how quickly are you willing to go to the Pod Eastern area without a bow. And it looks like not many people were really willing to go there very quickly.
I mean, Blaine finished first out of everyone, and I'm pretty sure that was the last location for you for that.
That or Eastern. I went into pod before Eastern, and the only thing left I had was left side swamp. So, yeah, I mean there was. I don't see a way without really big braining this to not have bow as your go mode, and in an all dungeon seed, you're probably not getting in there until, at the very least, you've done all the rest of the dungeons.
Yeah, exactly. The only way I could see it is if maybe you just had like a really terrible opening and you just feel behind 15, 20 minutes in and you're like, all right, I'm dumb, but I'm going to pod because it's basically what I need to be in this match. But yeah, it was a really rough one. And oh man, I was so mad because I was $90 leaving the well. And I didn't realize I didn't have a hunter until I basically got right next to the bottle vendor, and I'm like, how bad can this be? Well, honestly, at least I found the flute in the bottle like within 10 minutes. So I could have left those boots there for an hour if it had broken a little bit differently.
It's funny because I think this is the first seed that I've ever had to double dip into the well, because I had 91 rupees and I just jumped back down to the well to get 10 more, and I was like, this probably isn't even going to pay off, and of course it's the boots for maximum payoff.
Yeah, it was really, I actually like, I don't even get mad when that happens, I just like laugh, like this is just so perfect.
By the way, Alejun, first of all, GG, second of all, hope I pronounced your name right.
You didn't, but it doesn't matter. It's really unimportant. Thank you. I spoke a little bit by the end there, but it happens.
Everyone got a little tilted at the end of this one.
I was real happy at about 40 minutes. I'm like, one item from Go Mode, let's do this. And it just kept going and going and going and going. You could have Go Moded like 60% of the dungeons in this seed, realistically, even. And I got to Go Mode Eastern Palace.
Well,
Yeah.
certainly not every day we get to hear that statement.
Yeah, we were talking about that, GG Ala. I think it would have been a tough call to make, but like I said, it wouldn't have been a terrible, desperate call to make if you like last located the Moon Pearl or something like that. But like just looking at the times, I mean, I think basically everyone went there last.
Yeah, I suspect that pretty much just about everybody did that. Like, I know I had a very subpar execution seed for me, so I probably dropped a solid, like, 5 to 6 minutes over my average just on that. Just on freaking Trinex. But, yeah, I mean, it would be a bold call to make. I kind of sat there staring, I'm like, that's a really dense area that could have it, but I'm gonna feel really bad if I have to double dip the eastern area.
Yeah, that's kind of maybe the little bit of the attractiveness of the play is that you figure, oh, if I go here and it is here, I'm gonna win. But of course, it's so risky. It's all the dungeons open so early.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly why I did Left Side Swamp, because I kind of sat there. I'm like, I feel like most people are gonna peace out in this situation. I'm gonna just take my chance and see if I can roll into the bow here, and instead I rolled into a bunch of money I didn't need.
I didn't even wait. I just went straight into Left Side Swamp my way through the. I think it was the second dungeon I did after Tower of Era, so.
I think it was my 4th dungeon, maybe 5th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pulled Ped before I did Swamp.
This would have been a really interesting seed to watch because it was so open in the mid game. It's like, okay, you have 160 available spots to pick one, and you're looking for one thing. What you gonna?
Yeah, honestly, those are about my least favorite. Like, jet seeds are fun as long as it's not a jet seed minus one item, because those feel real bad if you don't guess right on where that item is.
Yeah, I agree. I felt really bad until I found it. Then I didn't feel so bad. And then I knew I was just gonna. I felt I executed okay. Maybe if you exclude like my Landmo 2 fight, which was just absolute trash fire. But other than that, I played pretty well. I gambled Death Mountain early. And then I was so surprised that there was nothing behind the hookshot on Death Mountain that I went immediately back up after I found the myths, and that put me on a really good path. But like we all were saying, that bow was just in a bad spot. The other thing I was laughing about is I got the bow and then I immediately mirrored out, and I'm like, oh no, if that big key is in the last chest in the dark maze, this is going to be a really bad situation. Because I'm known for my pod running lately, I think. That's all. But no, I was really happy when I found it on the Bullock side. At least I got lucky on that.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think logically that big key had to be on the right side from the ways the keys laid themselves out. Since the bow was inside the dark maze, and so if you actually had the ability to get... well, no, maybe not.
No, because the bow blocks the
bow, yeah, the bow locks the extra door, so it only requires 5 keys back there.
Yeah, pod key logic is fun to think about at times.
Well, it's fairly easy to, or sorry, like I play a lot of cross keys. I know Frostbite does too, and so you kind of have a nice solid tiering on what stuff requires how many keys. Like you have a set of things that require one key to be fully in one key or the bow to be fully in logic. Then you have the back right area, which needs 3 keys, and then the dark maze and the extra like one-off doors, and the boss needs 6 keys to be in logic. With all of that going to heck, theoretically, if the bow is back on one of them, and that can mess up your key logic a lot if you don't take it into account.
Well, I think the hammer also messes with the key logic there because you need the hammer to use up one of those keys as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I'm assuming everyone had the same strategy. It's like, all right, I'm going in a pod. I'm going to try and bow lock myself as fast as I can, and yeah.
Oh yeah. I pretty much rushed the bow locking as best as I could.
Deep down, I was actually really hoping that it was Agina all along because I skipped it at least 4 times when I was close to.
I grabbed a Gina at like 6 minutes, so that was not in my mind. If I hadn't gotten the boots, I probably would not have gone to Agina until we were ready to do Desert. But at Desert, I mean, with the boots, I went to Dam, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna plan to full clear this Sphere 0, so I went left to Agina instead of heading right to the mini Moldorm area.
Picking up the boots, shaking my head.
I was say I made the same play Boyne did. I left the well with 90 rupees, and just immediately jumped back, and I'm like, I'm gonna feel real dumb when this gives me 20 rupees. And then kind of laughed internally a lot.
It's funny because I think I skipped I skipped 2 5 rupees from enemy farms on the way too, so it was like an even double whammy. But I would almost always double dip that. But sometimes I just get it in my head that I already have the money I need, even when I don't, because I figure, oh, all I need to do is pick up one big 20 in here, and I'll be over it, and then you don't end up getting.
I left a big 20 in Escape and similarly felt really dumb when I only had 90 coming out of the well. I actually went down to Agina. That was like my 5th check of the game. I'm a big fan of the early Agina play. And having that be a sword was amazing because it let me do so many things before I went over to Kakariko. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten my flute from Uncle. I think there was a glove in escape. So
Yeah, there were mitts in the first chest.
early game was super nice for just kind of put Kakariko off, then go to Kakariko, and oh boy, I've got 20 items. Where do I go next?
Oh, so yeah, I took that sword and I just went straight up to Tower of Hera at that point. Since, I mean, I didn't map check all game. I had no idea I still don't know what the red crystals were in the game. I know it was either ice or Eastern or pod.
Ironically, it was both Pod and Eastern.
That's kind of what I guessed, but I legitimately didn't look at it, like, because I was looking after every crystal dungeon. Like, the first time I would menu, I would take a quick look to see if I had the red crystal. And then when I got to 3 dungeons, I'm like, well, one of these is going to be bow locked, so I don't care about Pyramid Fairy anymore.
Yeah, I checked a Light World map, and when I saw desert and like I saw the layout, and basically I had already known that pyramid. I could, looking for the bow so quickly, I knew it couldn't be at the Pyramid Fairy, and then basically I never checked the Dark World map either. Although, I mean, I regret not checking it because it did lead to some janky routing around the Thieves Town Skullwoods area where I cleared Skullwoods, then I cleared Thieves Town, then I checked the pet because memes, and then I kept going after that. But I mean, it was a fun seed. I kind of like these seeds, but it would have felt nice to run into the bow a little bit earlier, so you could have put it up at that time.
Yeah, I feel like if we had ended up, well, first off, the hint in Hera was super helpful for me because I sat there and I'm like, okay, well, this is probably going to be on King's Tomb at this point, and since I didn't have the like, I was 2 items away from Desert Access and I still needed mitts at all, and just kind of ended up at that point having a good sense of, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything, like, there's nothing too bad to be dealt with here. I assume everybody got that hint and knows what I'm talking about. The Moon Pearl needing boots.
I mean, I got it like 25 minutes after I got the moon.
Yeah, I got it after Moon Pearl. Yeah.
Okay, I would say I got it before Moon Pearl. Like, I did Hera super early, and so immediately then just turned around, got my flute, and once I had my flute and had checked King's Tomb already, I said, all right, well, this is in desert, and so just rushed straight to desert.
Because I didn't have a sword, I avoided the Hera area. I went up the hookshot side of Death Mountain, but I didn't go up the Mire side because I didn't want to go up there and find a sword in one of the few spots that I'd left in the lower world. So I was happy that I mean, I guess with getting those mitts and flute and Mire and all that stuff, like, I mean, if you aren't going to the sort of Desert Mire area right away, you're just not reading what the game's trying to tell you, in my opinion. Plus the boost to top it all off.
Oh, so yeah, one of the things I don't like about these kinds of seeds is I feel like it throws so much information at you that it's really hard to read what it's trying to do. Like, at that point, I tend to prioritize the stuff that has the most requirements, which is one of the reasons that I went relatively early, and really wish I had it because it was dead beyond belief.
Yeah, same. That's why I went Swamp Ice early, because I figured those flippers are in a really horrible spot. Let's hope this is the chain leading to the bow. I mean, not the flippers were in a horrible spot, but I mean, it was a fairly lengthy chain to get the cave to get the flipper.
By the way, our 4th runner, JC Anderson, did finish in 14th place, 2 hours, 3 minutes, 19 seconds, with Rufio! Yes, that's their name, actually finishing, rounding out the field in 2 hours, 7 minutes, 3 seconds. So, kudos to everyone for, wrapping this up before we have to worry about all the administrative stuff. So, to Frostbite and Blaine, and I know I didn't learn your pronunciation, but Alashun, or I'm going to butcher it again anyway. But final thoughts on this seed?
It was definitely a seed.
Yeah, 100%. 100% a seed.
Nope, just GG to Blaine again. That's a really good time given how much you cleared. And GG to Ala, and GG to everyone else.
Yeah, Blaine, you're a machine man. That was an awesome time on this seed.
I'm just disappointed that nobody could pull off the 125 in this all dungeons. That would have been sick. Whoever did it, it would have been sick if somebody just big brain pod, but maybe next time.
Hey, run it for a spoiler log.
Yeah, you wouldn't be that much faster.
That's true.
Alright, with that, please give it up for JC Anderson, Frostbite, Blaine, and Alashun, or Alice something. I know. I'm gonna get it one of these days. Please give them all a follow if you haven't already. Do not forget about my commentary partner Dark Shadows 59, along with our trekkers Wall Kicks and Drossi. So regarding the events, well, tonight we're kind of wrapping up, though if you hop on over to the main Speed Gaming channel, you may be able to catch some Wind Waker Randomizer action. However, tomorrow we have events. I don't know all the channels yet, but we will have some Pokemon Red, some more of the Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament, a number of Link to the Past Randomizer League races, a Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland any percent match, some more Final Fantasy I Randomizer, and of course, almost everyone's favorite, the Super Metroid Randomizer Weekly Race. Please follow twitch.tv/speedgaming along with Speed Gaming 2 through 6, and do not forget about our foreign language restreams available in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German. Dark Shadows, do you have anything else to say?
Just be sure to join us be sure to join the Speed Gaming channel starting at 11 a.m. for some more races across, as you said, Metroid, Link to the Past, Kirby, and we might. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Indeed, for Dark Shadows and everyone else here, this is Wolfman2000 saying until next time, watch out for evil bow locations, apparently. Have a good night.